Alan, David, welcome to the CC4 Museum of Welsh Cricket. A very proud day for the Watkins family because there is a display devoted to your late father. What are your memories of him?
My memory, when I was 6, and it was the first time I realised that perhaps he was a bit of a celeb. We lived in a flat way above the square in Usk, and I was lifted up to see the whole of the square was full, or what appeared to be full, of Usk people welcoming him back from the South African tour. And that's my earliest recollection.
And that was a very famous tour for Alan because in February 1949 he was the first Glamorgan batsman to score 100 in Test cricket.
Indeed he was.
What are your memories of that day?
Well, not too many, because in 1948 I was 2 years old.
And
therefore, my memories, the best thing I can say about being here is that it's only, in a sense, after that we begin to understand where my father was as a cricketer. And so in 1948 I'm 2 years old. Yeah. But the house becomes known as Ellis Park. And from that moment on, as we move through our lives, we become more and more aware of the special talent that my father had as a cricketer, coming out, in fact, of very humble beginnings in South Wales.
That's right. Yeah.
And actually arriving in 1948 in South Africa.
And he wasn't just famous as a cricketer because he was a very talented footballer as well.
Yes, he started his football career in Plymouth Argyle. We have a photograph of him actually scoring a goal. That's the only recollection we have of him playing at Home Park. And then, of course, came the war, and just after the war, he moved here with Cardiff City. Perhaps kicked the ball for Cardiff City, but then he chose cricket, and thank goodness he did.
And after retiring from Glamorgan, he went on to be a very successful coach at Oundle School in Northamptonshire.
Prior to that?
He was at Framlingham. But I think this is also one of his greatest achievements, is the fact that he was able to move from being a truly professional cricketer to a quite excellent coach. Not just a coach, but something quite special. Because I think he had the means, the understanding of the game, to look at you as a cricketer and take what you had as a cricketer to make it better. Not to some format, not to some kind of design, but looking at your intrinsic talent.
He never chose to change a person in his coaching. He chose to develop what that person had. And I think that's one of his strengths. We're school children at Framlingham and then latterly at Oundle. And I think it speaks volumes that I think one of the Oxford and Cambridge matches, I think he had virtually half the 11 on either side that come from the school.
Come from Oundle.
Over the years.
Alan in his sporting career gave an awful lot to both football and cricket. And now here at the CC4 Museum of Welsh Cricket, we are paying tribute to a fine all-round sportsman. You must, as a family, be very proud.
We are, yeah, but we are also grateful for, aren't we, for it to be recognised.
Well, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Basically.
We've grown to know this more and more.
Yeah.
And I have to say, since he died, we've delved deeper and deeper. And that's the sadness to us, that actually it comes a little later. But this, I think, is a true recognition of, I think, where he stands in Welsh sport. And for us to come and see this, very special. Yeah. Very special indeed.
I think Mum and Dad would be very proud.
Yes.
And especially, I think I have to say something about Mum, because without Mum, you wouldn't have this. No. Because she collected everything. She filed everything. She put things away in boxes. And we were still trawling before Christmas. So without Mum, actually ran Dad, really. He cleaned his boots, cleaned his pads.
Pressed everything.
Made sure he was ready to go. And latterly, she ran the businesses.
So this is special.
This is special to both of them. Without Mum, this wouldn't have happened in a way.